In this episode, we replace the front of the car, and I'll show you a great website where you can find the part numbers that you need for parts that you need to replace. Hey everyone, and welcome to today's episode. So today we're going to be taking the old crash bar off the front of the car that's been damaged, and we're going to put a new one back on, and we're going to refix the front frame which holds the radiators back into place and screw that back up into the car. So not much we're going to be doing today, because obviously the bulk of the repair has to do with the wing, etc., which we're not going to do until the car comes back from the body shop, and it's going to be away for around 10 days. That's the estimate that I've been given. So 10 days we got to find something else to do. I'm sure we'll find something that we can fill our times with. But in the meantime, let's crack on and get this crash bar fitted back onto the car so that we can at least finish that job off. Okay, so here's a new crash bar on the floor. As you can see, it's in perfect condition in compare to this one, which is crushed in the corners here and needs to be replaced, and also has various twisted parts like this here, that's all gone. And as a result, the front end is not sitting square, it's actually come off. You can see it here, it's off. So what we're going to do, we'll take this off here first. We'll move all the pieces here, so this should be able to be used again, but we'll make sure that it lines up okay. And then we'll fit the new bar down here, put that into place, and then we'll fit it all up and make sure that it all is straight and everything can fit on there. And once we've done that, this car will be ready to go off to the body shop. So let's crack on and start disassembling the front. Okay, so both front crash bars are off. Now if you look at the bars, you can see that really there's no twists in the old and the new, so their legs are absolutely fine from the point of view that the front crash bar, this is the damaged one here, has not been misaligned, which is good news. That's always good to see, because if there is a slight twist, then you just got to get those chassis legs checked and lined up and laser lined. So that's good to see. You can see the radiator, it sits as an assembly there, and there are some damage on some of these bolts hole here, so you can see that there, that's where something screws in there, that's broken. And also here, that's also broken. So what I might do, in fact, what I'm going to do is probably take this apart and just give it an inspection and see if we can repair that, plastic weld that together and get that sorted. I'd feel much more comfortable with that done. So we'll do that in a sec. The main damage you can see here, this is twisted here. So that would, if that was the only damage, I would have probably have repaired that and banged that back in place. But as you can see here, the main damage is this here. This is crushed, and if you compare it to the new one, you can see that that's obviously taken a good old whack. And with these, you need to make sure that they are square and that they are as undamaged as possible. I mean, you could get away with that. You could put that back on the car and it'll be fine, but if it has another whack, it means that's going to get compromised even more. So play it safe, replace it with a new one, the one that hasn't had an impact, and then you know that you're back to OEM. Okay, right, so let's take a look and see what we can do about this. I'm not going to spend too much time on it, but if we can repair it and make it good, then that means that it's going to be back in one place. The only thing that obviously is going to be a big issue is this here, because I don't have that screw for that, and the chances of finding it, well, it's just not there. So we're going to have to think about how we deal with that one, if it's going to be vital that we might need to replace this whole piece here, if it's a vital component. But the best way to check that is to have a look on the old ZAP 7 site and see what plugs into that, and then we can make an assessment. So I might just go and do that now. Okay, so we have found the screw that goes in there. Actually, it's this here. So essentially that goes into here like so, and then that screws into our crash bar. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my hot glue gun to put that into place, and then that should hold it in there, and we can then fasten this to the crash bar. So we'll do that, let it dry, and then we'll get the hot gun in there. Okay, so that's now back in place. To be honest, it's not the neatest of welds, plastic welds, but trust me, it's going to hold it far better than leaving it loose. So now we can start putting the A-frame, the front crash bar back on. And by the way, I did look on 7 ZAP in regards to this frame, and I'll show you a picture of what the frame looks like now. So there's no need for me to do anything other than just fit the crash bar and then fit this back to the frame. So let's get the crash bar in, and then we can there it is over there, and then we can finish this job up. Okay, so crash bar is back on. It's gone on quite well. Everything has bolted up really nicely, and no bends or strains, so we know that we are working within parameters. So I've just got to get the intercooler back on. I've got my struts over there, but I think those are broken, so I need to just take a quick look to see how these are connected up to the car. But other than that, this car is now ready to go to the body shop to get this bit here repaired. So glad about that, as I'm sure you are as well. So the next time you'll see this car, all of that should have been done over here, and the wing will be on as well, because he's going to fit the wing for me as well. And then we should start to be able to put this car back together. Okay, so that is what all we can do on the car today at the moment. We need to get front end, which I'm in the process of ordering. I'm actually looking to buy a damaged front end because it's considerably cheaper than buying a new one, or definitely a new one, but a second-hand one. So this one's got a slight crack. I'm going to take not a gamble, it's a calculated risk, because it's got a front grille that I need to buy anyway, and a lot of the bumpers I've seen on eBay don't come with a grille. So even if I just use a grille on this, the price that I'm paying for it is going to be well worth it. And if I can repair the bumper doing a plastic weld repair, that will obviously save me a lot of money. So let's see how we go with this, and let's see how the plastic repair goes before we make a judgment call to keep it or not. Okay, so I alluded to during the video about parts and getting sourcing new parts. And that can be a problem for salvage cars, because in order to get the parts you need to get the right part numbers. And one of the biggest challenges I found, particularly on the Fiat 500, is that there are so many variations. So on the Fiat 500, the lower grille that you'll see, not in next week's but the weeks after video, that has 30 different variations. So there is a website that you could use that is very informative, and I'm going to show you that website right now. It's actually called 7Zap, and this is not a sponsored video by all means. I'm just giving you some valuable information to help you find parts. So let's take a look at the site. Okay, so if we look at the screen here now, we can see a whole lot of brands that are supported on the 7Zap scheme. So we have a Bath, these are UK brands, Alfa Romeo, BMW, Fiat, Ford, the list goes on. So if you see the brand or the badge of the car that you are particularly repairing, then you're going to get the part numbers from here. So we're going to take a look at Ford, and what you then do is you select your car. So we've got various different Fords, all the range, including going back to the 1976 Ford Fiesta. So it definitely supports a range of older brands. So let's take a look at Ford here. So this is the panel that I replace. It shows you in detail, but you can then, if you select on that, you see it highlights in blue in the corner there on the right hand side, and then you select the side that you want. Okay, so the side that I'm looking at, for what I tend to do is I'll copy the part number, so you've got the part code here, and then I'll do a quick search for it on eBay. So this is the way I go and look for those parts. So I'll type in the manufacturer, so it's looking for a part, and hopefully if it's listed, so there's a part that I'm looking for, I can do a search, and here it is, comes up here, and you can see that there are 3 different versions of that, and it is the side that I'm looking for as well. So the near side, if I go back to Zap 7, you see that that's the left hand side. So if I want the right hand side, I will obviously click on that side, and then I will look for the right hand side. So you're always going to get the right part, and that's the way you find the genuine part numbers for the vehicles that you're looking for. And the Zap 7 site is really good because it covers a multitude of different things on the car. So every single component that you could possibly need for your vehicle is here. So for example, we were looking at some front end bits on the car earlier on, so this is where I can find that. So these are all the components that make up the front of the vehicle. So long as I got all of those, then I know that I'm in good place. So this is where we had our little damage here. We got the front air dam. I think my one is potentially damaged, could be. And then you've got all these little bits of plastics, and I've got a few of these that are broken. I've got this piece is intact, but these little pieces, they're all broken. So those are the bits that I will then need to do, and all I have to do is highlight that, and then you see it gives me the left and the right hand side. And all I then have to do is get those part numbers, so I can either search for those on eBay, or I can go to my Ford main dealer and get those parts. So the Zap 7 website is a really good source for main parts, and it's really valuable tool for the salvage car builder to locate parts, locate the part numbers, and be able to source the parts that you need to repair your vehicles. So that's it for this week. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and as I always say every week, if you're seeing this for the first time, don't forget to subscribe down here and give us a thumbs up, and don't forget to click on that notification. So what we're doing next week, well, we might drop a video next week, during the middle of next week. We're going to be reviewing some products that I've got here from this company here, Hell Raising Detailing. So they've sent me their sample box of products, and we're going to take a look at those hopefully during the week, weather permitting. Next week's video, we are going to go to Copart. We're going to do a Copart walk around. There is some cars that I've been looking at, and I want to just run a few ideas past you. But first of all, we're going to take a look at some high value vehicles, because I'm going to be changing my daily it's about time. I've had it for a couple of years now, and I tend to change my cars every 3 years, and mine is coming up to 3 years old now. So I want to replace it, but I'm probably going to be looking at a salvage car. But I have a few ideas, and I want to run them by you. But first, we're going to take a look at some of those cars in Copart. So that's the plan for next week. Hope you look forward to, and hope you can join us then. In the meantime, have a good week, and we will see you maybe on Wednesday, but if not, certainly on Monday. Have a good week.